Assalamu alaikum. My name is Halima Hajat. I am a holistic medicine consultant from Blackburn, and today I am on the Health Podcast brought to you by UCTV and powered by Audley Late Night Pharmacy. And today I thought we'd talk about Ramadan. We're coming up to Ramadan, so if you are someone that is suffering chronic symptoms, or you are just looking for a different way to approach Ramadan, try and look for a more healthier way, and find ways to keep your energy up, this is what this little podcast episode is going to be on today. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that we generally do really wrong in Ramadan. Okay, number one is we don't prepare for it. The first thing is we don't prepare for it. Now, we know in our hadith, right, the sunnah tells us that when it comes to before Ramadan in Shaban, we're supposed to be fasting a lot more. And the entire point of this is that we are exercising our body and we're trying to get it used to the fasting. So when it comes to the fasting in Ramadan, it's not going to go through like a hit, when you get a lot of the brain fog and the initial symptoms that you get in the first few days where you're transitioning and getting used to Ramadan. You don't get that, and instead you're already in flow by the time that you're actually in Ramadan. So number one is we don't prepare it. So we need to start preparing for Ramadan right here, right now. So we have approximately 2 weeks left for Ramadan. So this is a really good time. Obviously, do a little bit more fasting. Get your goals written down. Okay, Ramadan is a spiritual month. It's a time for reflection. It's a time for you to renew your intention. Is there anything that you want to grow in? Is there anything that you want to change about yourself, right? Because Ramadan is a time where shaitan is going to be locked away. So if you want to make an intention to get better, to change yourself, to become better, to do something different, Ramadan is perfect for that, right? So make intentions, make goals. What do you want to do this Ramadan? What is going to be your spiritual goals, right? Do you have an intention to maybe try and commit to praying your salah if it's not something you used to? Or if you want to do extra and make the Hajat, do you want to be doing extra dhikr? Do you want to be praying your Quran regularly? What are those goals? You really need to be planning those ahead of time, right? It's a little bit like when we're younger, when we've left school and we're looking for jobs, etc., there was always these things of you need to have smart targets and smart goals, where they're small. I think S is small, measurable, actionable. I don't remember exactly what they are, what they mean, but the idea is the more clear you are on what you want to set out for yourself, the more clear you are, the more you'll be able to do it. Okay, there's no way, if you said to a person at school, and they'd say, and they said, I want to be a doctor, right? But if they made no plans on how to be a doctor, they're never going to be a doctor, right? But if they actually make the plan and be like, okay, I want to be a doctor, so I need to first finish my GCSE, then I need to go college and complete these very specific A levels. I need to get these grades to get into university, etc., right? So there are steps in order to achieve your goal. So it's the same thing when it comes to your goals in Ramadan, whether it might be for your health, whether it might be spiritual, whether it might be physical, or for your energy, whatever it might be. You need to get really clear with your goals. Okay, so planning and preparation is number one. Okay, number two is in our South Asian community, one of the things that we do quite a bit is we have a lot of fried foods, right? We will deep fry our samosas, our pakore, our spring rolls, and all of that. And we have to start understanding and realizing that these oils are really toxic for our body, right? There's a reason why, you will, when you have these fried snacks and fried foods, you'll then go to Tarawih, the men go to Tarawih, and then you'll start to hear the stomachs going, right? Because especially when you've had an entire day of fasting, that oil is horrendous and toxic, right? And it is just really bad for you. Now, I'm not saying, cut out your samosas, right? Even I'm not cutting out samosas. But what I'm going to tell you is just use alternative. So a lot of people now invest in air fryers, and I have one myself at home, and it's absolutely brilliant. And you literally just use it as you would know for anything else. You just coat a little bit of olive oil on the top, just brush a bit of olive oil on your samosa on the outside, put it in the air fryer and just let it do, and you'll have a really nice crispy samosa, okay? And yeah, that it's not going to be exactly the same in taste, but it's okay because it's still enjoyable, right? And actually now it's healthier for you as well, right? So just little changes that you can do to actually enjoy Ramadan, but enjoy it healthier. It amplifies the barakah, right? When you've been fasting all day long and then you make an intention to eat a little bit healthier, for the sake of your body, for the sake of Allah, right? The entire experience becomes more amplified for you. And so it's really important just to have that intention that what changes can I make differently, right? And I'm not sure if how common this is, but we also have milkshakes quite commonly. So the rose faluda, you would call it, or ruh afza, I guess in some communities they call it. So it's that syrup is full of sugar. Right? And so you already kind of when you have your kajul and your date at iftar time, you're already like having your that sugar burst that you need for your body. So you don't really need a lot more. You can have a few more dates or some fruits and you're okay. But to have that syrupy thing is really, really bad. And sugar is the worst of the worst. It's like a drug almost in how it affects your body, right? So what I would do is I would just make a switch, right? What we do is we just use milk, we use the rose water, and we use honey, and we make our own version of it at home. And I'm telling you, right, you get the when you get the amounts right, it tastes absolutely the same. You can taste the honey as long as you're happy with that taste, or just use any alternative natural form of sugar. But it just means that it's healthier, it's better for you, you can still enjoy it, and at the end of the day you've amplified your experience of Ramadan once again by making a better choice, right? And especially if you're someone that suffers with a lot of chronic conditions or symptoms already, just making these changes will amplify the benefits that comes with fasting. It will improve the detox, it will help your body to reset, right? And when you kind of eat a little bit more cleaner, your body is able to reset even more whilst it's eating. Whereas what it tends to do is when you're eating the nasty things, your body has detoxed over the fasting period, and then you've just kind of filled it with a lot of rubbish again. And so you want to continue that cleaning. Ramadan is a purification, is a month of purification. So we have so many ways to do this, okay? So that's fried foods. And really, like, the final thing is just your water, right? It's so easy to not drink the amount of water that you need to. A lot of people struggle with just drinking that 2 liters of water a day. And so we have to start, again, it's about measuring and planning. Like there's a saying that goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Right? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So the only way that you're going to be able to do it is if you actually plan it ahead of time. And the best way is just to get one of those water bottles. I don't have mine with me, but just to keep a water bottle with you on hand. So like my water bottle has approximately 600 ml worth of water that it can carry. So I know that if I fill that water bottle 4 times, that I'm gonna have a minimum of 2 liters of water a day, right? And so all I have to remember is to fill it 4 times. And that's a really easy way for me to remember how much water I'm drinking instead of having to measure it all the time. So you could make things easier by planning it ahead of time. Make sure you get a water bottle on hand and just keep it with you, whilst you are, doing your iftari, after your iftari, even during your tarawih, when you like have that moment after you pray your 4 rakats, just for that little pause, you can have a little swig of water, right? And so you're just sipping constantly all throughout, right? And so this is really important, especially when it comes to your energy, because what happens is if you're working throughout the day, you're waking up early, so you already you're lacking in your sleep already, right? Because your tarawih was late, if you're waking up for sahri or suhoor, and that's like a broken sleep, and you've got fajr, and then you're waking up for work, or you're waking up for school runs and all of this. So there's a lot you gotta think about in terms of how we need to preserve our energy, right? And number one has to be the water. Without water, our body is just gonna dehydrate, and we're just gonna get the massivest headache ever, right? And we don't want that. We want to have a clear head. We want to be able to function and focus throughout the day. That is why the water is key. What you can do is you can also try and invest in some kind of multivitamin or some kind of energy booster, just kind of top up. There's a lot of these superfoods type of powders, organic powders that you get nowadays, which are literally different types of fruits and or vegetables that have been like freeze dried, ground into powders, and they have all sorts of nutrients and vitamins and minerals that they're really, really high in the nutritional value. And you just have that in some water or have that in some juice, and it will just give you that added extra nutritional benefit which you might not get from the foods that you're eating. And it just means that your body is being fueled better. And that's something you can look into. And that's it really. That's the end of this podcast. It was a quite short one, but I just wanted to highlight some little things that you could do just to make sure that you are getting ready for Ramadan properly, and that you can experience a blissful, a happier, and a more uplifting Ramadan by making changes in your, in your diet, in your iftar, by making better decisions that will overall, inshallah, uplift the entire experience of your Ramadan. Please make dua for me. And Jazakallah for listening. And that's all for today. So Jazakallah for watching. My name is Halima Hajat. I am a holistic medicine consultant in Blackburn. This podcast is on the Health Podcast on UCTV, and it's powered by Orderly Late Night Pharmacy in Blackburn. Thank you for listening.